Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photo chats. So today we'll talk about the legends of rock. There were two photographers, a woman named Lisa and a gentleman named, I have to look it up. I'll put it in the show notes. It might be Robert. They are two photographers and they had a local gallery show in Boulder that I went to. They were opening. And Lisa had photographed Bob Dylan and Grateful Dead and all kinds of rock performers for all of the 70s, 60s, 80s. She was even at Woodstock and was helping make food for them and was a participant in the actual creation of Woodstock besides being a photographer. And she has beautiful black and whites and she printed them and had them in the gallery show. And the other gentleman, he photographed a whole bunch of these folks too, including he had done the Nebraska Springsteen cover, which has like a landscape on the cover. And he had that landscape that he had hand printed for sale there. Plus, he had copies of the album so you could remember where you saw that picture last. And the two of them were like just wonderful people to talk to. A friend of mine also photographed a lot of those 60s stars. And so he knew Lisa, so we went together. And it was just so much fun to meet them, to see their work, to go to a gallery show. If ever there's photography gallery openings, I always go to them. I love being a part of what people are doing and seeing that work. Oh, and I brought a camera. I brought a Leica. I brought a Leica M6 with a 35mm 1.4 Summilux. And I took pictures. I took pictures of Lisa talking to some people. I took pictures of the other gentleman talking to some people. I took pictures of some friends. And I did it all with a Leica. And I had a good time. And then I left. And then I processed the film and I thought, there's a nice photo of Lisa sitting next to some woman in front of one of her pictures of Bob Dylan. I'm going to print that and I'm going to put it in a little 5x7 frame. And I'm going to take it back to the gallery and I'm going to gift it to Lisa. And I'm going to ask the gallery owner, when she comes to pick up the work that doesn't sell, could you give this to her? And so I went to the gallery and I brought that picture. And I said, I have this photo for Lisa. And she's sitting with another woman in the gallery under the picture of Bob Dylan, and she looked at it and she said, that other woman is me. I'm in the picture with Lisa. I'm like, great, so that's a perfect picture because she's sitting with the gallery owner. There's all these other patrons walking around. You can even see the gentleman photographer in the back in that same photograph. Perfect. She goes, can I get a copy for me? I'm like, sure you can. So I printed up another one. I brought it back to her another day. But the most interesting part of this story is, she said, we were all wondering that night who you were. We saw the camera and we're like, who is that guy taking pictures? Who is the person with the camera? Because even though all of these photographers have photographed legends and all kinds of things, nobody had a camera. They only had phones. And even though there were many photographers in the audience, nobody had a camera. There was one camera there, and it was mine. And for her to say, we were all wondering who you were, it's like, why is that so foreign to have a camera at a photography show and to take pictures of people enjoying the show? I love having a real camera. I don't want to use a phone. I want to use my phone to make phone calls. I want to use a camera to make pictures. And I was able to photograph Lisa and the gallery owner under that Dylan photograph. And I got to do it in black and white film. I said, it only seemed appropriate if I'm coming to this show, I want to shoot black and white film and make something out of it. So fascinating that that became the talk. Somebody even mentioned, I wonder who the photographer is. You're all photographers. Why aren't there more cameras? Does nobody bring cameras anywhere? Am I the only one? Did anybody else make a print from that if they took any photos with their phones? Did anybody else do anything with those photos other than look at them for a couple of seconds and send them to some friends? Hey, look where I'm at. And then they're done. Because Lisa, hopefully, has one of my photos now in her home. The gallery owner, either at the gallery or at home, has one of my photographs printed and framed and signed because I made a real photograph. And I was able to do it because I brought a camera, which doesn't seem that difficult or foreign to me. And I enjoy walking around making pictures with a camera that feels like it's, for one thing, it's got a 35-1.4 on it, so I know it can shoot in any kind of light. And I'm readily available to go. Somebody pulls me aside and says, can you make our picture? Sure. I have the tools. It's a small, lightweight camera. I take cameras with me everywhere. Why would I not go to a photographer's opening and bring a camera? Of course I did. All right, that's today's photography talk. Hey, if you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you could support, hit the Patreon. Thanks to all my supporters. I appreciate you. I'll be back next week. We'll talk more photography. As always, here's the good light. Drop the remote.